In case you have been living under a rock, Bungie has just added a brand spanking new Crucible game mode to Destiny 2, which is really exciting, called Heavy Metal. Now, before we get into Heavy Metal, I want to remind you, I'll be live on YouTube here, Tuesdays and Thursday nights, starting at 9 p.m. We literally talk about Destiny for like 2.5 to 3 hours every single night. So come on and have fun. With that being said, though, let's talk about Heavy Metal. And the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about just kind of the principle of the game. It is a 3v3 game mode of Drake tanks versus Fallen Brakes, and that's it. Vehicle versus vehicle. Pretty self-explanatory. The rules are simple. You kill an opponent, you get a point. They will drop a coin. If you then pick up that coin, you'll get an additional point, and you can pick up your teammates' dropped coins to prevent the enemy from scoring, but it won't give you any additional points. There's also a leader mechanic, which will allow 1 to 2 players in the match to have a faster boost cooldown. And it will also technically allow the enemy team to get more points for picking up their coin. But it kind of feels awkward. We'll talk a little bit more about the leader mechanic in the future. You have 3 abilities. You have your primary weapon. This is your primary cannon. It shoots like basically once every second. Okay, 60 rounds per minute. So that's pretty self-explanatory. You have a secondary weapon, the little tracking rocket that can lock onto an enemy. This rocket is replenished by picking up your your enemies or your teammates' coins, and then you have a boost ability. This is just your B button. It allows you to move a little bit faster. This is a very basic game mode. There is nothing crazy going on with it. This is as simple as it gets. Everybody has the same health. There's no mobility. There's no recovery. There's no resilience. Nothing like that. Like, everybody is on a level playing field with the exception of the leader, which does have a faster boost cooldown. With that out of the way, with the principle of the game out of the way, I want to talk about the good, the bad, the awkward, and maybe some recommendations for the game. Starting off, of course, with the good, which is just the fact that this is a new game mode, and it is a lot of fun to play. I'm not going to lie. And I think that the community's been pretty divided, like 50-50. Like, every time there's a new game mode in Destiny 2, let's be real. The community is divided. Oh, they like it, they hate it, they like it, they hate it. But like with this game mode in particular, it is either far left or far right. Like it is either I hate this game mode with everything I have, or I love this game mode with everything I have. I have not seen anybody who's like kind of middle of the line. It's either really fun or it really, really sucks, and they are miserable and they just can't wait to get out of it. And I've seen a lot of people like just paying the $15 to get the rewards. Again, we'll talk about rewards here in just a second, but that's crazy to me, because just play the event and do it. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's a unique event. It's a fun game mode, and it's, like I said, it's new, and that's probably one of the most interesting concepts that we've had in a while. I think also another good about this game mode is the fact that everybody's on a level playing field. You don't have things like resilience and recovery and stuff like that. You don't have stats that you have to worry about. Like, everybody fires at the exact same fire rate. Everybody has the exact same health pools. Everybody takes the same number of shots to kill. The only difference is the leader will get a slightly faster boost, which is, cool, but like, it's not game changing by any means. It's really nice that we finally have a game mode that puts everybody on a level playing field. Similar to Hardware. Like, Hardware in Destiny 2 is a game mode where you basically just only have your weapons to fight with. I think that's cool. This just takes Hardware and moves it up to a whole new level, which I really, really enjoy. But that's the good from it. There is a couple of bad things though about this, and the bad things I think are really, one of them is it's an easy fix from Bungie, and I'm surprised they didn't fix it sooner in the event. But that is the controller sensitivity issue. If you're playing on controller, your ability to move is so miserably slow. Like you might see it in the background footage here, but I was struggling with you get an enemy right up next to me, and I literally couldn't rotate my tank fast enough to shoot them at the same pace they shoot me. Right, like they could get probably like 1 to 2 shots off before I finally was like pointing at them and I could finally shoot them. And I feel like that's just really awkward. Just up the controller sensitivity so that I can rotate quicker, or anybody who plays on controller can rotate quicker. But that is the primary bad issue that I have with this. And again, this is something that could be so easily fixed by Bungie. The other issue that I have, and this is actually the only other real problem I have with the game mode, is the spawns. Obviously, deathballing in Destiny 2 has been a thing forever. Like running around with your team is always a good idea. It's always probably like the best idea. This game mode is no different. Running around with your team is absolutely the best thing that you can do. The problem is if you happen to die, you will spawn so far away from your teammates, and the tanks and brigs, they don't move very fast. So it's not like you can just blaze up into getting, help your teammates. Like once one person dies, like the likelihood that the rest of your team is going to get killed is very, very high. I think that just decreasing the spawn distance from your teammates. When you die, instead of spawning 200 meters away, maybe you just spawn like 75 meters away. That way you can get back into the battle. Yeah, your teammate might die, but you're coming in there with full health. The enemy's a little bit injured, and it just keeps the combat flowing a little bit better. Because there was also a lot of times where my whole team would die, or we'd kill the whole other team, and then it's like this awkward situation. Okay, where are they? Driving around for a little bit, trying to find them. Like, oh wait, I saw somebody, but he's all the way across the map, so I gotta work my way over there, blah blah blah. Just make the spawns a little bit closer together. And really, guys, that's the only issues I have with the game mode. There are some awkward stuff though. There's some really the ugly, if you want to call it that I think it's not gonna necessarily make your experience miserable, but it's things that really just seem weird and seem awkward and seem like maybe they could use some changes. And of course, we're going to talk about some recommendations for those, but I want to talk about the actual ugly first. Starting off, the leader is just a really awkward thing to put in the game. I'm not really sure what the point of the leader is. Like it's one person that gets a faster boost. Okay, and the enemy team gets more points if they take the leader down. I don't really know what's the point of this. Like, I think that maybe it's a means of figuring out like where your team is. Like, I don't know. The leader just feels really awkward to have, and it feels good. Like, if you are the leader, it feels good to have a boost ready to go a lot faster. But at the same time, I don't think it really adds anything to the game currently. So I think that maybe if they had just changed it so there was not a leader, or they changed it so the leader had more of an effect, or an input in the game, it would be a little bit better. But yeah, that's the first awkward. The second awkward thing that I find is finding teammates. This is something that's, again, it doesn't make me not want to play the game, but it's something that's really frustrating. Like when I spawn in, okay, I want to go help my teammates. Where are my teammates? Okay, I spawned here, but then my teammate who died like 3 seconds later didn't spawn next to me. So now it's like, where is my teammate? Like that's something that just, again, it feels really weird to not be able to see like your teammates' names through walls, or see like some sort of marker through the walls, or some sort of wall hack, so you can say, hey, like I know where my team is. And maybe this is a balancing thing Bungie designed on purpose. I don't really see a problem with having the ability to see through walls, but maybe you do. If you see an issue with being able to see your teammates through wall, tell me in the comments. But finding teammates is difficult. Also, the primary weapon, which is the cannon, it feels really awkward to fire sometimes. And there are two primary issues with this. Okay, the first one is the actual fire rate. Fire rate is very slow. It kind of feels like, and I don't know, maybe it's something I just have to get used to. It just feels like it shoots really, really slow, and it's like, your solos, your solo duo, or I'm sorry, your solo 1v1s, duels are just like, okay, like pew 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 pew, okay, you're dead, yay, moving on from there. It just feels really awkward. But also, when you're firing the primary weapon, the reticle is not lined up perfectly to where your shot is actually going to go. Like, think about like in normal Destiny 2 gameplay, when you're not in a vehicle, like if you aim your gun at something, you're going to shoot it and the bullet's going to go that direction, right? In this game mode, your shot kind of goes under where your reticle is, and your shot will end up where the reticle like is pointed at, but it has a different trajectory path. So in this game mode, if you are shooting at an opponent and they're kind of maybe up on a hill or something, and you shoot straight at them, your shot might end up hitting the ground, or it might end up hitting, another bit of cover that really just shouldn't happen. And I think that's, again, it doesn't make me not want to play the game, because most of the duels you're getting into, most of the fights you're getting into are close enough. This is not going to be an issue, but every now and then it's just like an awkward feeling, like why did that hit the wall? Like, why do that? And I think that it could be just something that could be tweaked so that it doesn't necessarily do that. But yeah, the last thing, of course, I want to talk about are the duels. 1v1 duels they're really awkward. It's not a duel. It's more of a, okay, who has more health? You know, and again, this goes back to the simplicity of the game mode. You basically can take 4 shots and that's it, and then you're done. Okay, after 4 shots, you're dead. Whoever in a one-on-one duel, whoever gets the first shot off is probably going to win the gunfight. You know, and I know this is true in most other game modes, but in most other game modes, like, you can also, like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, bail behind cover. I can have, you know, teammates come in and save me. I can, you know, I can use something to heal myself, blah blah blah. But like in this game mode, no, like, you don't get that. It's they shot me first. I either have to run, try to get away, try to get back to my teammates, or I have to try to make them miss a shot. And with how slow these vehicles move, it's difficult to make people just miss shots. Like, when I was at close range, I did not find myself missing a whole lot of shots. But yeah, that's kind of it for the awkward. Again, it's not something that's going to make me not play the game. It's just, it feels really weird. So with all that out of the way, I do have some recommendations for the game. Obviously, my first recommendation here goes back to the radar situation. Well, actually, my first recommendation is going to be fixing the controller issue. Please, Bungie, make it so the controller sensitivity is not a problem. Also, fix the spawn so that I spawn closer to enemies. To teammates. Or when enemies spawn, they spawn closer to their teammates. That way, it just doesn't, like, there's not this awkward situation of like, oh yeah, like one teammate died, like it's gonna be a very quick snowball effect. Other recommendations, have some sort of wall hack for your teammates, so I can tell where my teammates are. That way, when I do spawn in, I can go towards them, or I can maybe, if I wanted to, I can go on a flank or something like that, you know. But being able to see where your teammates are, I think, would just make the game feel a lot better. I think also having a more clear representation that the primary ammo weapon is ready to fire. This is something I don't know if I talked about in the awkward, but one of the other things, you know, one of the other problems with the primary cannon is the fire rate's really slow. It feels really awkward to shoot. I think that just having some sort of reticle display to show that, hey, your next shot is about to be ready, okay, now it's ready, would be just a quality of life change I would love to see. Just have a bar, for example, that, you know, right next to your reticle, that you shoot, and then, you know, it turns red, and then it fills up, and then when it's ready to go, it turns green, or something of that nature, just so that it's like, oh, okay, I can see a little bit better that my shot is ready. Again, quality of life change would be fantastic. Also, fix the reticle aim misrepresentation that just feels really awkward. Like, again, like if I'm aiming at somebody, I would like to hit that person instead of hitting geometry when I'm aiming directly at the opposing, you know, an opposing team. So that's really it for my my hard recommendations for the game. Now I do have one other thing that I kind of want to talk about, and I want to know your thoughts on this. But how would y'all feel about a healing like station in the game mode? Like, have, you know, maybe 4 healing stations around the map. They're on, you know, each of like the 4 corners of the map. One of the things that, again, feels really awkward, like, yeah, you can pick up an opponent's to get health back, but sometimes, like, you know, if I just wipe the whole enemy team, like, it'd be nice to maybe heal, you know, go to a pad and land on it, and, you know, after I've been on it for a second or two, then it starts to just heal my tank a little bit so that I can get back to full health. I don't know, like, the game seems to be balanced around picking those coins up. And by the way, if you're playing this game and you have full health, don't pick up a coin. Like, let your teammates who are injured pick it up. Just want to throw that out there. But yeah, I don't know, just a healing station. How do y'all feel about that? But anyways, that's it. That's Heavy Metal. That's kind of my thoughts and opinions on it. Overall, like I said, it's a really fun game mode. I think it's a good addition to Destiny 2. It just has some issues that need to be addressed. But with that being said, I want to hear your thoughts on Heavy Metal, so tell me those in the comments. And of course, if you liked today's video, do me a favor, drop a like. It helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe for more daily Destiny content, conversations, debates, discussions, all that good stuff, and come see us on stream Tuesday or Thursday nights. I will catch y'all in the next one, guys. Bye for now.